You carry the echoes of yesterday, the laughter of those now gone, and the weight of what could have been, clinging to moments long past as if they still live. You hold the anxieties of tomorrow, the uncertainty of health, the fear of loneliness, and the worry of what lies ahead, postponing peace until a future that never truly arrives. Why does true peace feel so elusive for so many, especially as we gather the wisdom of years? My dear friends, greetings to you. It is an honor to share this quiet moment with you, wherever you may be, in the comfort of your own space. As a monk, I have spent many years observing the human heart, its joys and its sorrows, its triumphs and its struggles. And I have come to understand that one of the deepest yearnings we all share, particularly as we grow older and reflect on life's journey, is for peace. Not merely an absence of conflict, but a profound, enduring inner calm. Have you ever felt this deep longing for a serenity that seems to always be just beyond your grasp? Many of you, I imagine, have reached a stage in life where the frantic pace of your earlier years has softened. Perhaps the demands of career have receded, the daily raising of children has shifted, and you find yourselves with more time for reflection. This can be a beautiful gift, an opportunity to truly see the landscape of your own mind and heart. Yet, it can also bring forth memories that tug at you, perhaps regrets, or the ache of loved ones no longer by your side. Do you sometimes find yourself lost in these echoes, replaying moments, wondering about paths not taken, or yearning for faces you can no longer see? This dwelling in the past, my dear ones, is like trying to gather water in a sieve. It slips through our fingers, yet we exhaust ourselves in the effort, and in doing so, we miss the refreshing spring that flows right now. Or perhaps your gaze is fixed on the horizon, not with anticipation, but with apprehension. The future, with its unknown challenges to health, financial security, or companionship, can cast a long shadow. Do you sometimes worry about what tomorrow might bring, allowing those imagined scenarios to steal the joy and peace from your present moment? This worry about the future is like spending your whole life preparing for a journey, packing and repacking, but never actually stepping onto the path. We believe that by worrying, we are somehow protecting ourselves, but in truth, we are only living in the suffering twice. Once in our minds, and then, if it ever comes, in reality. The Buddhist truth, a simple yet profound wisdom, reveals that the struggle with peace, for those over 60, and indeed for all of us, often stems from this very tendency to live everywhere but in the now. We are like travelers standing at a magnificent crossroads, with beautiful gardens all around us, yet our eyes are fixed on the dusty road behind, or the uncertain path ahead, completely missing the vibrant life unfolding in this very moment. What if there was another way to look at this stage of life? Not as a time for regret or anxiety, but as the most fertile ground for cultivating true peace and freedom? Let me share a story. Many years ago, in a quiet village, there lived an elderly man named Arthur. Arthur had retired from a demanding job and had always imagined that retirement would be a golden age of leisure and peace. Yet a few months in, he found himself restless, often irritable, and feeling a deep sense of dissatisfaction. He would spend his mornings reminiscing about his career, the respect he commanded, the decisions he made. He would sigh. Those were the days. His afternoons were often filled with anxieties about his health, the market fluctuations, or whether his children were truly happy. He rarely slept well. One day, a younger neighbor, observing Arthur's constant state of unease, gently suggested he visit a meditation center. Arthur scoffed. "What good will sitting do? My problems are real." But the neighbor persisted, and eventually Arthur, out of sheer desperation, agreed. In the quiet hall, the teacher spoke of the breath, of noticing the rise and fall of the abdomen, the sensation of air entering and leaving the nostrils. Arthur found it incredibly difficult. His mind was a tempest of memories and worries. This is useless, he thought. My mind won't quiet down. The teacher, sensing his struggle, came to him and said, Arthur, your mind is not the enemy. It is simply a busy servant, always trying to do something. For a few moments, let it rest. Just notice your breath, like watching the tide come in and out on a calm shore. It is not about stopping thoughts, but about gently returning to this present moment, again and again. Arthur started coming regularly. Slowly, gradually, he began to notice small shifts. He wasn't suddenly free of all past regrets or future worries, but he began to see them as thoughts, not as his entire reality. He learned to observe them without being swept away. He realized that the past had already happened, and the future was yet to arrive. The only place he truly lived was now. This is the essence of mindfulness, my dear friends. It is not some exotic practice reserved for monks on mountaintops. It is simply the gentle art of being fully present, aware of where you are and what you are doing, without being overwhelmed by what's going on around you or inside you. It is the door to the peace you seek. Pause and breathe with me for a moment. Just take one slow, deep breath. Feel the air as it enters your body, and feel it as it leaves. Just one breath, fully experienced. Did you notice how, even for a brief moment, the chatter of your mind might have softened? That, my friends, is a glimpse of the peace that is always available. The biggest challenge in embracing this present moment often comes when we face loss. Many of you have known profound loss, the passing of a spouse, a sibling, a dear friend, or even a beloved pet. The pain of grief can feel like a heavy anchor, pulling you back into the past, into a world where they were still here. And it is natural to grieve, to mourn. This is part of our human experience, an expression of love. But what if there was a way to honor those we've lost, not by clinging to their absence, but by embracing the impermanence that touches us all? There is a beautiful Buddhist parable, though it has many forms. It often speaks to this very human experience. A woman named Kissa Gotami, distraught by the death of her only child, carried her deceased infant from house to house, pleading for medicine to bring him back to life. People thought she was mad, but eventually she was brought before the Buddha. He listened with compassion and then told her, "Go, my dear, and fetch me a mustard seed from a house where no one has ever died." Kissa Gotami, filled with hope, went from door to door. But at every house, she heard stories of loss. A parent, a child, a spouse, a friend. After many houses, she sat down, exhausted, and realized the truth. Death is not something that happens to her alone. It is a universal experience, touching every single household. With this realization, her frantic grief transformed into a deep understanding of the shared human condition, and she was able to gently lay her child to rest, finding peace not in his return, but in the acceptance of life's natural flow. This parable, though ancient, speaks to us directly. Our pain is unique, yes, but the experience of loss is universal. When we fight against the reality of impermanence, against the fact that all things change, all things come to an end, we suffer. But when we lean into this truth with compassion, we begin to find a different kind of peace. It doesn't mean we forget our loved ones. On the contrary, we remember them with a heart full of gratitude for the time we had, for the love we shared, allowing their memory to be a warm ember, not a burning fire of sorrow. What if we honored their lives by living our own more fully, more peacefully in this precious now? Then there's the question of purpose. For many of you who have retired or whose children have grown and flown, the old markers of purpose might have faded. Do you sometimes wonder what your role is now? What new meaning you can cultivate in this chapter of your life? This too can become a source of anxiety, leading to a sense of emptiness or drift. But what if this stage isn't an ending, but a profound new beginning, an invitation to uncover a deeper, more authentic purpose. Consider my friend Alara. She had been a dedicated teacher for 40 years. When she retired, she felt lost. The structured days were gone. The bright faces of her students were replaced by quiet mornings. She tried various hobbies, but nothing quite clicked. She felt a vague sense of inadequacy, as if her useful life was behind her. One day, a local community center put out a call for volunteers to read to children after school. Ilara hesitated. "I'm retired from teaching," she thought. But something nudged her. She signed up. The first day, as she watched the children's eyes light up at her stories, she felt a spark. It wasn't the same as her professional career, but it was a deep, quiet joy, a sense of belonging and contribution that filled her heart. She wasn't just reading stories. She was weaving a tapestry of connection, of kindness, of shared humanity. Her purpose hadn't disappeared. It had simply transformed, becoming gentler, more focused on simple acts of loving kindness. This is the beauty of metta, or loving kindness, in the Buddhist tradition. It is the cultivation of a boundless friendliness and goodwill towards ourselves and others. When we offer our wisdom, our time, our gentle presence to those around us, even in small ways, we find our purpose reborn. It is not about grand gestures, but about the quiet ripple effect of a compassionate heart. You, my dear friends, carry a wealth of experience, of stories of resilience. What small acts of kindness, what gentle sharing of your wisdom might bring a new sense of purpose and joy into your days. Of course, as we age, our bodies change. The aches and pains can become more frequent, energy levels might dip, and the reflection in the mirror might show a face that has seen many seasons. This can be a significant source of struggle, a feeling of losing control, of betrayal by one's own body. Have you ever felt a deep frustration with your physical limitations, wishing for the vitality of youth? It's a natural human reaction. But here too, Buddhist wisdom offers a path to peace, not by fighting these changes, but by embracing them with a profound sense of acceptance, or apeka. Imagine an old, majestic tree. Its branches might be gnarled, its bark furrowed, some leaves might have fallen, and it might not sway as vigorously as a young sapling. But it stands tall, rooted deeply, having weathered countless storms and enjoyed endless sunrises. It accepts its age, its changes, its wisdom evident in every twist and turn. It does not yearn to be a sapling again. It simply is, in its full, magnificent presence. Our bodies are much like this tree. They are impermanent, always in a state of flux. We can nourish them, care for them, treat them with kindness, but we cannot halt the natural process of aging. When we struggle against this fundamental truth, we generate suffering. But when we accept it, not as surrender, but as a wise understanding of reality, we free ourselves from the tyranny of wishing things were different. We learn to adapt, to find new ways to move, to enjoy, to experience life within the parameters of our current physical form. Perhaps it's a slower walk in the garden, a gentle stretch, or simply finding peace in quiet contemplation. The joy isn't in what we can't do anymore, but in the beauty and richness of what we can. Share in the comments your own stories of how you found strength and peace in challenging times. I would love to read them. Your wisdom can be a guiding light for others. The truth revealed is that 99% of those over 60, and indeed many at any age, struggle with peace because we have not yet learned to truly inhabit the present moment. We allow our minds to be pulled between the gravitas of what was and the anxiety of what might be, never settling into the vibrant, living realities. The past is a memory, the future is an imagination, but the present is the only place where life truly unfolds, where true peace resides. It is the only moment where we can act, where we can choose, where we can experience joy. Let me share a parable that might surprise you, revealing a simple truth about letting go. Two monks were on a journey. They came to a river where a young, beautiful woman was waiting, afraid to cross the swift current. The first monk, without a word, picked her up, carried her across the river, and gently set her down on the other side. He then continued on his way. The second monk, however, was disturbed. For hours, as they walked, he grew increasingly agitated. Finally, he could no longer hold back. "Brother," he exclaimed, "how could you do that? We monks are not supposed to touch women, especially not one so young and beautiful. It is against our vows." The first monk looked at him calmly and replied, "Brother, I put her down on the other side of the river hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This simple story, my friends, holds a profound lesson. We often carry burdens, thoughts, and worries long after the moment has passed. We cling to past hurts, past glories, past fears, or future anxieties, believing they are still relevant, still urgent, still defining us. But just like the monk carrying the woman in his mind, we are the ones choosing to hold on to what has already moved on. Peace begins when we learn to put these burdens down. It's a continuous practice, a gentle letting go, again and again. So, how do we cultivate this lasting peace? It is not about escaping life's challenges, for they will surely come. It is about changing our relationship to them. It is about understanding that true peace is not the absence of storms, but the ability to find calm within the storm. Start with the breath. It is your anchor to the present moment, always available, always here. Whenever you feel yourself drifting into regret or worry, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Feel its rhythm. Cultivate gratitude. Each day, find 3 simple things you are grateful for. It could be the warmth of your cup of tea, the sound of a bird outside your window, the comfort of your chair. This simple practice shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from what's missing to what's present. Embrace impermanence with an open heart. Everything changes, everything passes. This truth can be a source of sorrow, but it can also be a profound source of freedom. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we cherish each moment more deeply. We hold our joys and our sorrows with greater tenderness, and we release our grip on what we cannot control. Offer loving kindness. Begin with yourself. Speak to yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Then extend it outwards to those you love, to those you find difficult, and eventually to all beings. A heart filled with kindness has no room for lasting resentment or fear. My dear friends, the wisdom of years you carry is a precious gift. This stage of life, free from many of the external pressures of earlier decades, offers a unique opportunity for inner cultivation. You have lived much, learned much, and loved much. Now you have the profound opportunity to truly be, to settle into the richness of your own being, to discover the wellspring of peace that has always resided within you, waiting to be noticed. It is not something you have to earn or find outside yourself. It is your very nature. The struggle with peace, for those over 60 and for all of us, often comes from forgetting this simple truth. The present moment is the only reality we truly possess, and within it lies the boundless potential for calm, for joy, for freedom. May you find the courage to put down the burdens of past and future and step fully into the preciousness of this very moment. What if, beginning today, you chose to fully embrace the peace that is already here, within you, now?